I'll let you get a little close-up view of my hair. I know you want to see it, so I'll give you what you're asking for. So let's get into these locks real quick. Y'all know I love some lock shots, so let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natty Renz, and today's video we're just going to talk about the different methods that you can use to start your locks and some of the benefits and downsides to the different methods. So let's just get right into it. Okay you guys, so first let's start with two-strand twist. That's the most obvious one because that's how I started my locks, so I'm going to talk about that first. So with two-strand twist, you know, you just put your hair in a two-strand twist, 2 strands of hair, put in a twist, you part it, put in your little twist, okay? And one of the after doing my research, one of the great things about this particular method of starting locks that I saw was this allows a lot of expansion for your locks. So I think that this method is probably really good for people with fine hair like myself because it allows kind of like maximum expansion. I really wanted to find the method that would be best suited for my hair type, which is obviously really important when you're deciding to start your locks, along with how you kind of want your locks to come out. I found out that two-strand twist will pretty much give you the thickest locks. I mean, there's a lot of room within the two-strand twist that allows your hair to expand, and when your hair expands, you know, all the hair that's getting tangled up in that little lock of yours, that's what's going to determine the size and the thickness of your lock, along with, of course, your parts. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and do the two-strand twist method because that's gonna give me like maximum expansion. That's gonna allow me to get the thick locks that I desire on my fine hair. It's not so much that I wanted thick locks, but I just didn't want my locks to be too thin, and I know that I already have naturally fine hair. So I was looking for the method that would allow me to get the sort of thick locks that I desire. Y'all, hold on, I realize I keep doing this. Don't watch my nails, okay? I need to get them done. Okay, I'm late with doing my nails and they're a little crusty right now, so don't watch that. But anyway, the downside to, I don't really think it's a downside. I guess it's subjective, it depends on how you look at it, but one of the downsides of starting your locks via two-strand twist is that it does take longer to get rid of that two-strand twist pattern, so it takes a long time for it to disappear. But honestly, you guys, again, that is subjective. I think it's more about how you look at it, because for me, I see that as a benefit simply because it adds that extra texture. So I don't know, you guys. Honestly, you guys, I'm 10 months into my lock journey and I still have like a little bit of the two-strand twist in some places in my hair. However, I feel like it's not so much when you look at it that you can really tell. I feel like I'm kind of at that point where it just looks like they're completely 100% locked. Something to be noted with two-strand twist as well is a lot of people seem to have a lot of unraveling or some unraveling, but I think again that depends on the texture of your hair. I know I had a ton of unraveling. I had a few locks in particular that just kept unraveling, but the beauty in two-strand twist is you can just twist that bad boy back up yourself. So I don't know, it's a win-win for me with the two-strand twist, obviously, hence why she's here. But you know, whatever works for you guys. Let's move on to the next method. So the next way that we're going to talk about for starting your locks is braids. So you know, you can just do braids all around your head and eventually you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get your locks, you know, the expansion, blah blah blah, all that good stuff is going to happen. The braids, for me, one of the biggest reasons why I was just like not interested in braids is not only less room to expand, but also I just thought about what's gonna be like a cuter style while I'm in that between phase, like walking around with two-strand twists or walking around with like skinny braids. For me, again, this is specific to me, you guys, but because my hair is fine, braids in my hair are like this big, much like the 2-strand twist, where however the 2-strand twist I feel like expanded relatively quickly, and I just don't see how the braids would have done well in my hair. But again, definitely depends on your hair texture. It depends on, you know, what you're looking for. Some people can probably pull off the whole braid style. I can't, so it just wasn't for me. Another like downside to braids, I have read that it can also cause the locks to be a little bit flatter, because, you know, when you braid, braids don't typically have that like cylindrical shape. So I don't know, y'all, it wasn't really something I was interested in trying. I skipped over that one. But if it works for you, braids are also a great way that you can start. It will, of course, just like 2-strand twists, take a while for that pattern to disappear. 2-strand twists, it can typically take like 6 months and up, whereas with braids, they say it can take a year and up. Okay, so moving into another method to start your locks. This is one that I feel is very, very common. Most of the people that I know that did their locks, they started via coil. It's very, very common for people to start that way. One of the benefits I personally see in starting your locks with coils, it has that perfect cylindrical shape. So I think you're gonna get that perfect, I don't know, I'm going based off of like my husband's locks. He started with comb coils. So it's just, you're already in that circular shape from when you begin. It's kind of naturally flowing into that. So I think that that's great. However, downside, this comes down to like your own hair texture and whatever, all the other stuff that goes into that. But with the comb coils, your comb coil can come loose, so kind of like, I guess, unraveling. And the problem with that for me, I don't know how to do comb coils, so who's doing that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, that means I just have to leave it hanging in the wind until I go back to my lock appointment. Because obviously I personally would need to maintain that in a salon. That's not something I wanted to do. So it was a pass, a hard no for me. Something else to consider if you're looking at comb coils is the length of your hair, because the longer your hair, the longer it's going to take to lock. And that's simply because it's hollow on the inside. Whereas for shorter hair textures, comb coils typically work really well. So, you know, just weigh your options and see kind of like what's better for you. 2-strand twists are good for long hair. Braids are good for long hair, but comb coils are like, if you don't mind the weight and you're just going in understanding that it's going to take a while for that to shrink and lock up the way that it's supposed to, if you're okay with that, great. Comb coils are a great way. And one thing about comb coils, I think that it's a really cute style overall. So if you're looking for something that's just going to be cute every day, I feel like comb coils are definitely really cute every day. They look good. It looks like you just have your natural hair flowing in the wind. So comb coils can be cute. So the other method that I wanted to talk about is lock extensions. So you guys know this is a little bit taboo. Some people in the lock community feel like if you have lock extensions, you're like cheating. Whereas other people feel like, yo, I still have to go through the process in the top. My feelings in this are mixed, and my feelings in this are irrelevant, honestly, to this video. I'm just telling you that it is an option for you. So if you do not want to go through the supposed ugly phase, which first of all, I don't believe there is one. I did a video on that, you guys. I'm gonna leave it linked somewhere. You guys need to check that out. I don't believe that there is an ugly phase. I believe that there are days where it doesn't look the way that you want it to look, but I wouldn't call it ugly. I don't see it ugly at any point in time. I loved every minute of my journey, but that's just me. If you are someone who maybe you don't want to go through this supposed ugly phase, you don't want to go through the kind of like unruly, not knowing what to do with your hair, locks that are sticking up wherever, that's a great option for you to start with lock extensions, because you go in and they have these, I don't know too many details on it, don't quote me, but it's kind of like locks that someone has made. They added in with your hair and you have locks. A downside to lock extensions, and I think this may vary from person to person, but that lock extension is never going to be the exact texture, type, it's never going to be exactly the same as the hair that grows out of your head. And something that a lot of people tend to encounter later on down the line is where you can tell, like you can see that definitive mark of where their hair is versus the lock extension. And a lot of people end up cutting out the lock extension as they get further along in their journey. So I think it's just preference. If you don't want to have to go through the supposed ugly phase, if you don't want to have to go through that, but you want locks, that's an option that you have available to you. And then you can always later on down the line just cut off those extensions if they're not matching up with your natural locks and how they're looking, or you can keep them if it works out. The last way that I'm going to talk about locking your hair is freeforming. My brother-in-law actually did this. Y'all know that little like sponge that he did that. So, and it looks really good, and he pretty much just allowed his locks to grow as they are. I think since then some may have naturally started to combine, but I don't really remember what's going on with his head top. But yeah, so with freeforming locks, you can start like my brother-in-law did. I think that thing is called like a curl sponge. I don't know, don't get me if I'm wrong, because I truly do not know. But there's that thing, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So there's that. You can also just like never detangle your hair and just let it do whatever it wants. And maybe there are other ways, I don't know, but that is an option that is available. The downside to that, I would say, is there's likely not going to be much uniformity. I mean, with the curl sponge, there kind of is, at least on his head there is. But with just never detangling your hair and just letting your hair be, you know, some may be bigger than others, but there's beauty in that too. So it depends on what you're looking for with your locks, what's going to kind of work better for you. It depends on the length of your hair. It depends on your hair texture. If you're unsure, I mean, you can go to a loctician and get their opinion, but 2-strand twist to me is bomb across, you know, all across the board. I think most people can start their hair with 2-strand twist, and it makes it easy because you know that if it unravels, you're not like just stuck. You can 2-strand twist that bad boy yourself. So, but I'm an advocate for 2-strand twist, and I'm biased because that's how I did it. So y'all just do what you want to do, don't listen to me. Overall, when you are trying to make a decision about the method that you're going to use to start your locks, just think about your hair texture, what you want your locks to look like in the end. You know, if you're looking for like a skinnier lock, if you're looking for something thicker, if you're looking for whatever else people are looking for in their locks, think about, you know, what that's going to look like in the end, because how you start determines how your locks are going to look. But these are my locks. These are my locks today, you guys. They're growing. They're glowing. I love them. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that you all found some useful information. If you are not locked yet, I hope that you found some useful information on how you should start your locks, or at least this can get you thinking, and you can start doing your research for your hair type so you can know what way you should start your locks. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.